Alright, so welcome again, guys, and of course, thanks for joining me on Jamaican Science. Today, we're going to look at something I saw on Instagram, and of course, it was a piece of story done by the Star. And when you're listening to this, if you have the time, you can check it out. But when you're listening to it, I say some variations in this story. And before we get to it, I want you to just hear it out first and listen keenly to what the lady is saying.
What is the name of this?
Alright, so let's start from the start.
And then shoot him in him head and him drop with the juice pan in face and then give some shot in him head and put one gun and fire shot out of one gun and then take out one brown cloth and then put it side of him.
Alright, listen again. Listen again carefully, people. You realize she is saying what happened is that her son held up his hand and the police shot him in his head and took out a gun out of a brown bag and put it beside him. So what she's saying is that she saw this, or she's putting forward that she indeed witnessed the event. So if you're getting the same idea just as how I'm getting it, no problem. But let's continue listening.
And then shoot him in him head and him drop with the juice pan in face and then give some shot in him head and put one gun and fire shot out of one gun and then take out one brown cloth and then put it side of him.
What is the name of your son and how old is he?
My son is 19-year-old and named Kevin Morgan.
Alright, so this is the unfortunate killing of a teen in Homestead. And of course, you would have heard his name. He's 19 years old. And unfortunately, he met his demise by the hands of the security forces. So this story, when we see it, oftentimes, many persons say police wicked. But for me, I oftentimes love to listen to these stories because oftentimes when you listen carefully, you see some discrepancies that can turn your mind, especially in a legally framed way. So let's just continue listening to what she's saying about the unfortunate shooting death of her son.
Side of him.
What is the name of your son and how old is he?
My son is 19-year-old and named Kevin Morgan.
What kind of person is he?
Him go with one man and tile. If nobody call him, we will go and tile. Me I left everything to God. God alone, me I beg him give me strength. And without him strength, me never be nothing.
Is that your only son?
He's the first one for me. Uncle call me. He just send somebody other to them carry my gas some class up at them granny. As me on the bus lady bag, me hear the phone a ring. And when me hear the phone a ring, my uncle say, you know, say, the soldier just killed a son. And I say, God lie.
Alright. So if you're listening carefully to her story now, she's saying that she was giving somebody an item. Her phone rang, and on the phone was her uncle, who told her that her son was just shot and killed. But initially, based on the coverage of the news, she would have stated that she saw the entire thing, or based on how she was explaining it, or based on how it was cut, it would seem that she would have seen the event. But now she's saying that she heard from her uncle about what happened.
Yeah, tell, give me strength, give me strength. Our man turned to me and said, yeah, balance for strength. So from so me I beg God, give me strength, me I beg God, give me strength. Me just I beg him, give me strength. Just beg him give me strength. And without strength, me not go be no.
He normally stay by himself or with friend and company or something.
He will in the house and from in the house.
Alright, so you realize there was a pause about his, should I say, character trait, but that's just probably me. But you realize there was a pause there.
Him going on the lane and he will sling and play domino with them and then come back in. If him have no work for do, he will go do it. So
He live by you, right?
he live by me. My God, I can hurt me. Me over my house just on bed. Inside my Kamala house.
Alright, so this is an eyewitness, probably the only eyewitness. And I want you to look at something with this eyewitness as it relates to her story. And also, I want you to look what she has in her hand. And let's go.
And then me hear, then him did that play. Then me hear, pakai. And me say to him, say, I want to go on. And he say, get flat man, my shot come through window and kill you. And me say, you forget flat man, shot come through board and kill you. And when me go out of the gate and peep out, me see the look up boy, and peep through, my shot kind of done and me a peep. And the look up boy having hands up.
Alright, so you know, oftentimes, and it might just be a spur of the moment you come out and look, but I oftentimes see persons, no matter what, you're going to the bathroom, you have your phone. She's doing an interview now, she has her phone. So I always wonder, when persons say they see, it hasn't dawned on anyone to say, you know what, I need to record what I'm seeing. I've never seen a person say, you know what, I'm going to record what I'm seeing, because clearly your word against their word, sometimes there will be discrepancies. So clearly we have not learned from from technology and the availability of technology that we can record. But funny enough, when simpler things happen, everyone can record. But let's continue the story.
Then, like, then do some outside and kick off in foot, or they kick off in foot, them just start shooting. That's all I see. I say, yes, I'm going back. I mean, here one girl next door say, his son. I say, what you say, and the girl say, I'm my son. But when I come out now fully through the gate and go up near, I say to one girl, say, Anna Brandon, a skinny. And the soldier say, go in the yard, Tara class woman. You're so ugly. Go in the yard. I say, me not going in the yard.
Alright. So now she has the courage and the power now to come out and verbally confront the security forces. But you clearly see that, again, no one has the mind frame to record anything. And we have seen with the George Floyd killing, if that girl didn't record, chances are the case may have taken a turn for the worst. But luckily, someone recorded. And that is a problem we have here in Jamaica. We oftentimes record the simplest from various angles, but what really matters, we never really catch on camera, like things like these. But let's continue.
And he said, I put one, and he shoot me.
So how many shots in you?
Like God shot like a $100 drop on the house now. Like when I full of other shot and dirt and choke on the house now.
So is it true that the residents were throwing stones and so on for the police?
I don't know about that.
Alright, so you would have confronted the police, the soldiers, in hot-blooded fashion, and you realize time has passed and you're still there, because obviously some time would have passed and the body would have been secured by the authorities, and you would have been there throughout all of that, and you're now here doing the interview, because it's not like the star team was there when the shooting started. It took some time for them, CVM and everybody to get there. So you're telling me throughout all that time, you'd never see anything. So I find that funny again, but let's continue.
What take place should happen like that. If you're all a person that you're having a
Alright, listen to this part now. And this part is oftentimes where controversy comes about with shooting like these.
So is it true that the residents were throwing stones and so after the police?
I don't
the
know
soldier?
about that. I don't know about what take place should happen like that. If you're
Listen
all a
carefully.
person that you're having a conversation with him, you could have bring him in, go check him out and see what's go on. Even when I said to the soldier, say, "You're not too wicked. You not should not kill him, so." The soldier say, "Tara the car, no space, no hope there for them." That's what him said. Because him bad was straight up. And said, "No space, no hope there for them." And I said, "Brimstone and fire phone. The blood of Jesus is against you. You're not too wicked. You shouldn't have to shoot him, so. Cold-blooded murderer and not to do it. Father God, and I call him."
You see the fervor they have anytime it comes on to the police. But those illegal gunmen, they could kill 11 people. You don't have this type of attention. And many persons might say fear, but I'm saying, don't they fear for their lives that the police could come back? She's saying that she lives here. So when these persons who are violent producers are doing their worst, where is this type of attention to try to secure your life? Alright, let's finish off this.
And Jesus, I'm going to call upon Jesus. One to them then I lay a fire up, gunshot and sitting. Mr. But you mean a fire no shot now? You could have.
Alright, you hear that very important point? He wasn't firing shots, no. Let's go back again. And that is very important, because oftentimes there may be instances where the person may be a wanted man, a notorious murderer, and due to some unfortunate circumstances, he would have been injured, killed, when he was not doing anything. But where were you when he was doing something? And I know this is where human rights will all come about and say, Lily, but at the end of the day, listen to what she's saying.
Cold-blooded murderer and not to do it. Father God, and I call upon Jesus. I'm going to call upon Jesus. One to them then.
Yes, see there? Calling down on Jesus.
I lay a fire up, gunshot and sitting. Mr. But you mean a fire no shot now? You murderer and not to do it. Father God, and I call upon Jesus. I'm going to call upon Jesus. One to them then I lay a fire up, gunshot and sitting. Mr. But you mean a fire no shot now? You could have carried me in Kayan my whole coast conversation.
So that is very, 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 very serious, and that is a problem we have with our society. He wasn't doing it now, but are you saying that he was doing it then, yesterday, a year ago? Is he innocent because he's not doing it now? So when you see news like these, you have to really listen to several bits of information before we can all come and say cold-blooded. It may seem that way, but there are oftentimes so many underlying stories that it becomes hard to see the reality. And unfortunately, in our society right now, I know for a fact that we have extrajudicial killings. It has been proven in court that there are cases of that. But my question is, how long should we cover for gunmen, for gunwomen, for violent producers? Because in many cases, when gunmen kill a 10-year-old, as we would have seen in Arnett Garden, when gunmen or when unscrupulous persons murder, rape, and burn children, women, men, we don't see these type of actions. No one is pleading the blood of Jesus on camera. But the moment a gunman, an area leader, a don, whatever you want to call him, is killed, the community comes out. Probably unwilling, but when you do look at it, it just begs to ask, where are we going as a country? And as Barbara closes off,
Shoot him. He said a ball place. I did have to hold them up there. See how I say.
so as my heart goes out for this mother, many times the underlying story goes that women, mothers, girlfriends, oftentimes take blood money, bloody clothes, wash it, spend it in terms of money, and they don't look at the big reality that the source is very wrong. The money has blood on it. And at the end of it, we have to look as a society. We have to look at these stories carefully. And for the residents, we need to start documenting these things, because where they become extrajudicial killings, you need to have evidence. And it can't always be, I saw, because what you see can be disreputed by a very crafty lawyer. So until the end, gentlemen, women, please remember to like, share, subscribe, join the argument, and check out the story. You could probably have more information. And what are your views on this young man who lost his life in Homestead? So until next time, be good.